a bearish rating. Bearish, of course, means down from investors' observer sentiment score. And they say it has broken through resistance levels, obviously. The crypto is now down 4.40 in the last 5 days, and it's down 4.32 off.
From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is LALATE back in the metaverse tonight, going over the top cryptocurrency coin of my pick for this September 2022, which again is Decentraland. I was a big advocate of Decentraland back earlier this year in spring of 2022, and I am again today, and I'll tell you why. Major breaking developing details tonight on the metaverse, cryptocurrency, and Decentraland. It comes from Meta. Facebook, the former company known as Facebook, now Meta, announced just minutes ago that this October it will be debuting new headset materials. And this has an inherent play for Decentraland and the metaverse. First, let's go over why this is important, then the announcement, then the price point for Decentraland, where you could be making millions of dollars on Decentraland as your big coin for the cryptocurrency pick of 2022, September. Right now, let's go to the details starting this very moment. Of all the cryptocurrency coins that I would have you invest in, I would choose Decentraland number one. Why? Decentraland is the major player in a space that's not going away. It's the metaverse, and it's a place in which big money is being made already and will continue to be made. But as recorded on this channel over the last year, Decentraland is impacted directly based upon an external event. And it is Facebook, now Meta. Every time that Facebook Meta looks closer to getting in its feet completely, hands and feet into the metaverse with a launchable product that works, Decentraland historically goes up. It's a ebb and flow, a pull and tug relationship. So if you see major news coming in from Facebook that is great for the metaverse and gets you excited in the metaverse, you should be immediately focusing on Decentraland. Now, there are other metaverse coins, but I've always liked Decentraland better because, one, the interface makes more sense. Number two, it's always been the better economical play in the metaverse because its transactions are very inherent, its land space is very inherent. And number three, I like Decentraland better than any other coins because it's a symbiotic relationship to Facebook. Historically, whenever Facebook or Meta makes an announcement, metaverse coins, and especially Decentraland, make that move upward. So let's go into the breaking news right now that happened tonight for a big September 2022. The major announcement made minutes ago was from Facebook's lead, of course, Zuckerberg, who made the announcement that this October, Meta will hold the company's Connect VR conference. What is this VR conference? Virtual reality, the headsets. The headsets will be debuted in October. And he made this a first tease on the Joe Rogan Experience last Thursday, saying that the new headsets would feature new features that could enhance the social presence of the end user. It'll also include new eye and facial tracking features, and it'll also make it ability for you to smile and frown. Really? I like it. There's more nonverbal communication when people are with others, which each other, than verbal communication. So that's why he thinks that this VR device is very important. How important is this for the metaverse and certainly for Decentraland? It's very important for Meta's bottom line because the headset could cost at least, you ready for this, $800. The project is called, or the headset is apparently going to be called Project Cambria. And it will be significantly more pricey and more developed than its current headset, which is the Quest VR headset, which is only running $399, only $399 to $499. This comes as Meta Labs have now spent a reported $10.1 billion on the have recorded a $10.19 billion loss and have spent $2.27 billion and have only drawn in $2.27 billion in revenue on the metaverse for 2021. If you get all these people who are so super witty and saying super insightful things, but a lot of them are very cutting, I find it's hard to spend a lot of time on Twitter without getting too upset, what Zuckerberg said about Twitter. Let's go into why this is big news for the metaverse. This is big news for the metaverse because ultimately they're already players in the metaverse. And the biggest player, the player I like, of course, is Decentraland. I like Decentraland for a lot of reasons, and I feature those reasons on this channel for over a year. But let's jump right into that Decentraland chart right tonight, and it doesn't particularly look good. I'm recommending a buy on Decentraland tonight across the board. The situation on Decentraland is fascinating. I mean, look at that chart. This, of course, is a one-day chart, and if it shows a dramatic drop, I'll explain to you why that dramatic drop in a second, but look at the price point, 73 cents. Look familiar? It is. This is the last price point at which I last recommended Decentraland, and when was the last time I made a major recommendation on Decentraland? Right before Halloween 2021. People who had taken that advice at the time would have made a lot of money if they bought and sold when I told to buy and sell. It was at about a 50, 70 cents then. I say buy it. It went to $3. I said sell it. And that was really around late December. I said you either sell it and make the profit and go back in, or you hold it long term. And the people who sold it made a really good profit. Decentraland is an easy tradable coin. It's also a good buy and sell coin. And I'll tell you some of the products that is really going to get Decentraland exciting as a coin. They're Butterscotch, Half Dome 3, Hollow Cake 2. It sounds like, ice cream recipes. It sounds like ice creams. And Sunburst and Mirror Lake. These are some of the products and prototypes that Meta, Facebook, has been debuting in recent days. But these products really get your interest into Decentraland. Now, if you look at this chart, you wonder, Elliot, why is the chart down so dramatically? Well, in the last 5 days, Decentraland has earned a bearish rating. Bearish, of course, means down, from Investors Observer Sentiment Score. And they say it has broken the resistance levels, obviously. The crypto is now down 4.40 in the last 5 days. And it's down 4.32 off of its low. It is trading near support. That's when it was 78 cents. Let's jump on that chart right now. This report was not today. It was, I think, yesterday. So it has broken through that 78 cents resistance. They last saw the resistance at 82 cents. So they have clearly broken through an 82 cents. They've broken through a 71 cents. Look at that chart right there. Let's jump in really close on that chart right now. So when you look at the 1 day, it doesn't give you an indication of the resistance level. Let's look at let's go out further. So you see a little bit of an upward trend. I want to go out to a month or 2 months, 3 months. Okay, see, I'm going to put my mouse in the chart. We're going to see that trend line. Any resistance level in there? Not really. Anyone that really finds 80 cents resistance level is the people that said Bitcoin had a resistance level of 20,000. It just doesn't really work in my book. Let's go out further. Okay, so we see this trading range, 70 to 108. Let's go in tighter. Do we see any trading range in here? Well, no, we just see a downward spiral in this range. So when you're in a downward slide, you're not a tradable coin. Tradable coin is a coin that you can buy and sell. You can make money and get in and get out. We featured trades and slides and the impact of what that means for you. Let's look at a graphic, for example, right now. This is a slide, not a dip. So when anyone tells you to buy this coin, and this is, of course, a very old graphic, because Doge has not been 48 cents for a gazillion years. That's not a dip. That's a slide. People tell you resistance level. This is resistance level. It's trading in a range, up and down, sort of like an elevator. Goes to the third floor and then goes back to the first floor. First and third. Doesn't go to the fourth floor and doesn't go to the basement. You see that trading range? So now let's jump back into what we see on Decentraland. Why am I excited about Decentraland? Well, I'm obviously excited because the symbiotic relationship it has with Metaverse. What would I recommend? What I would recommend is assessing your risk profile, of course, assessing whether you're going to buy and hold or whether you're going to trade. Buy and hold, I love Decentraland. It's going to make you a fortune. I really am giving a big recommendation for Decentraland, but at what price point? And this is for people who are buying and holding. How high could Decentraland go a year from now? Decentraland could easily go to $5 a year from now. And imagine $5 for a coin that tonight is what? 70 cents. Imagine if you have a coin that goes from 70 cents to $5. It's not something unusual because it's done it before. You want to jump on the chart with me right now? Let's look at the historics on Decentraland and let's look at those trading profiles. Yeah, so this is what I recommended to Decentraland right before Halloween last year. It was 78 cents, just where it is right tonight. It looks like it's deja vu all over, in the words of Mal Brooks. Deja vu all over. It went from 70 cents right up to really $5 for high. Well, it was $5, and then I said, get out. People got out right then. And look at this downward spiral. Now, some of the novices in the crypto space would say they're not recording any cryptocurrency videos right now because crypto's down. Nope. I like trading crypto. I love trading crypto. I also like buying and holding. So when we're buying and holding, what are we doing? We're getting at a price point that's cheap and holding. But if we're trading, we're trying to get in and get out. You know what I'm about to say. Obviously, October is going to be your perfect moment to trade on Decentraland based upon the meta Facebook news. You want to buy on the rumor and sell on the news. So you want to buy on the rumors going into the metaverse or the meta conference in October on the Connect VR conference. So you want to buy on the rumor, sell on the news. You don't want to sell the day after the conference. You're likely to sell the day before the conference, the weekend before the conference. This is sort of like what happened with Dogecoin. You didn't want to hold until after the Elon Musk appearance. I could show that graphic. Anyone who sold the morning of the Elon Musk appearance on SNL, you got out at the best time. That's when I told people to get out. Anyone who held to the Sunday, it never came back to the Saturday levels. In fact, it never came back to Saturday levels. So I would go in, if you're on a trading track, to go in right before the Facebook conference and then get right out before the Facebook conference gets underway. You don't want to get out after the Facebook conference. Now, do you have trading opportunities before? You do have trading opportunities before. And ultimately, you have to look at those ranges of what the coin is doing. Let's see if there's any tradable opportunities right today. No, obviously not. What about on the last week? Yes, look at this. So we have gone over from a 76 to an 81. Let's pull it out even further. Yes, we've had lows and highs where 75 brought us up to 81. Now, if you've been on this channel, I feature bigger trader opportunities across the board. But ultimately, where would I love Decentraland? I'd love it in the 60s. I'd love it in the 60 cents. I think it's a major buy if it's in the 60 cents. Buy for trading and buy for holding. That's my recommendation across the board. Now, why do I think Decentraland ultimately will appreciate to a level that will make you a lot of money? Number one, Decentraland's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's a platform and environment, and in community, a established economic environment with commerce engaging, people buying real estate, people selling real estate, people buying goods and selling goods. It's working, it's operating, is fully functional. I don't see it going away anywhere anytime soon. Our valuation is going to drop and surge. Obviously, they've fallen from those 4 straight down, but I think these price points are really cheap. Ultimately, the person who gets you the best end result is the crypto recorder, the crypto content producer that tells you this is your opportunity now, as opposed to someone who starts selling and go buy it when it's $2. No. I'm telling you right now, 78 cents, 73 cents is getting very attractive, but I love it in high 60s. Could it go to the high 60s? Give yourself some opportunity. We'll be tracking it on this channel. Among all the cryptocurrency coins, this is my pick. Among all the metaverse coins, this is my pick. And I like it as a trade, and I like it as a buy and hold. Do I agree with the comments by Investors Observer Sentiment Score that it's a bearish rating? Yes. I think you have to have a stomach to buy a coin like this because it's downward trending. And that anything that's downward trending is something you have to have a stomach for. But it doesn't mean you buy it right now. You don't believe that's the bottom. Buying what's the bottom and understanding what is the bottom is very important for cryptocurrency. You have to understand how low lows can go. And ultimately, here's what you need to know. When looking at the highs and lows of a Decentraland coin, you need to keep your historics in really tight. And you also need to understand the macroeconomics that impact Decentraland. Decentraland will be impacted by something in just 7 days from now. What is it? The Federal Reserve, when they meet at that FOMC meeting in early September, around September 10th, the Federal Reserve announces a 75 basis point increase for interest rates at that September FOMC, the Federal Reserve, you expect Decentraland to go lower. Expect stocks to go lower. It's very much the core of where we are. Then, if the Federal Reserve does surprise you with a 50 basis point at any time, expect Decentraland to pop up because many people think the Federal Reserve's going to come in aggressively with a 75 basis point. I think October is a clear pivot point because we're going to have the indication that the Federal Reserve is going to do another 75 basis point in October. And I think that's when coins and stocks could get even cheaper. Ultimately, learning the macroeconomics is important because crypto crashes based upon events that have nothing to do with crypto. The FOMC conferences once a month. The Consumer Price Index released around September 10th that'll give you an indication whether the headline CPI has pulled down 8.5% or a little bit less or about the same, or the component parts are going up month to month. And then when we see the unemployment rate, we saw the unemployment rate last week pulling back. When we see the next unemployment rate released at the end of this month, we will see its impact. Ultimately, if labor falls apart, there's more indication we're in a recession. And the more indication we're in a recession, then crypto gets more interesting. Have questions or comments, jump in the live chat and send to me on private message. I love to feature them on air. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, thank you for joining me on LA3. More programming continues throughout the night.
From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is LALATE back in the metaverse tonight, going over the top cryptocurrency coin of my pick for this September 2022, which again is Decentraland. I was a big advocate of Decentraland back earlier this year in spring of 2022, and I am again today, and I'll tell you why. Major breaking developing details tonight on the metaverse, cryptocurrency, and Decentraland. It comes from Meta. Facebook, the former company known as